Saudi Aramco. Work Permit Receiver Exam 4. Question and Answer. Exam 2020. Total question and answer 34. Passing marks 28 right answer or 80%. Question 1. Who should ask for the work permit before they start working? A. Standby man. B. Receiver. C. Issuer. D. Firewatch. Answer. B. Receiver. Question 2. What must you have before entering into a confined space? A. A valid confined space entry permit. B. Approved work plan. C. Firewatch with log sheet. D. All the answers. Question 3. 2 common methods of cleaning process equipment include A. Steaming and gas testing. B. Water washing and steaming. C. Purging and gas testing. D. Treating and clarifying. Answer. B. Water washing and steaming. Question 4. Why should you inspect a compressed gas cylinder before you use it? A. To see if it needs to be painted. B. To check the bonding cable. C. To make sure it is safe to use. D. It is a GI requirement. Answer. C. To make sure it is safe to use. Question 5. What happens if a work permit is to expire? A. Work can continue until the job is complete. B. Keep working, but tell the issuer. C. Stop work and come back the next day. D. Renew the permit. Answer. D. Renew the permit. Question 6. What are the roles you need for a confined space entry? A. A supervisor, standby man, firewatcher. B. A confined space entry foreman, standby, entrant. C. An entrant, flagman, supervisor. D. A confined space entry supervisor, entrant, standby. Answer. D. A confined space entry supervisor, entrant, standby. Question 7. What must the issuer do with the permit after he stops work? A. Close, and then extend the permit. B. Give his copy to the receiver. C. Get a counter-signature. D. Write the reason on the permit. Answer. D. Write the reason on the permit. Question 8. Identify hazards that found when using compressed air equipment. A. Damaged hoses and missing guards. B. GFCI missing and not double insulated. C. Damaged hoses, missing coupling, and safety pins. D. Tools rated over 220 volts and damaged hoses. Answer. C. Damaged hoses, missing coupling, and safety pins. Question 9. Why is designated representative sometimes used? A. The receiver did not come to work. B. The issuer may be busy and need help. C. The gas tester found high lower explosive limit readings. D. Too many safety problems were found. Answer. B. The issuer may be busy and need help. Question 10. Which of the following are parts of the standby man's responsibilities? A. Monitors the external activities of a confined space. B. Stay away from the point of entry. C. Maintains communication in case of an emergency. D. All the answers. Answer. C. Maintains communication in case of an emergency. Question 11. What is a fire triangle? A. Nitrogen, oxygen and heat. B. Heat, fuel and nitrogen. C. Heat, fuel and oxygen. D. None of the above. Answer. C. Heat, fuel and oxygen. Question 12. What are the distance BW flammable gas cylinders and O2 or oxidizers? A. 10 meters or 33 feet. B. 5 meters or 16 feet. C. 6.1 meters or 20 feet. D. 3 meters or 10 feet. Answer. C. 6.1 meters or 20 feet. Question 13. What is oxygen deficiency? A. A higher than normal amount of oxygen. B. A lower than normal level of hydrogen sulfide. C. A lower than normal amount of oxygen. D. The oxygen that is sufficient for working. Answer. C. A lower than normal amount of oxygen. Question 15. What are the major requirements for a hot work activity starts? A. Water, fire extinguisher and work permit. B. Fire blanket, water and fire watch. C. Fire watch, fire extinguisher and work permit. D. Fire watch, fire extinguisher and fire blanket. Answer. C. Fire watch, fire extinguisher and work permit. Question 16. Why is it mandatory that asbestos material be kept wet with water? A. To prevent fires and explosions. B. Water changes it into a non-hazardous material. C. Water keeps it cool during hot summer. D. Water keeps the fibers from becoming airborne. Answer. D. Water keeps the fibers from becoming airborne. Question 17. Flammable liquids, oil, grease, gases are examples of A. Class A fires. B. Class B fires. C. Class C fires. D. Class D fires. Answer. B. Class B fires. Question 19. When can a receiver leave the job site? A. When the issuer has given permission. B. Before confined space entry. C. When the gas test reads 0.0% lower explosive limit. D. When all hot work is stopped. Answer. A. When the issuer has given permission. Question 20. How close to the edge of an excavation can heavy equipment is parked? A. 1.3 meters. B. 5 meters. C. 3.1 meters. D. Not important. Answer. C. 3.1 meters. Question 21. We use work permits in the hazardous area to A. Check expired certificate. B. Identify alternate receivers. C. Be sure hazards and precautions are known. D. Use a designated representative. Answer. C. Be sure hazards and precautions are known. Question 23. covering sewers is required by which work permit? A. Entry permit. B. Hot permit. C. Cold permit. D. Release permit. Answer. B. Hot permit. Question 24. Identify and mark cables and services before digging. A. Use cable drawings and plans. B. Use cable locating devices. C. Safe digging practice last 3 meters by hand. D. All answers. Answer. D. All answers. Question 25. An issuer has which responsibility? A. Issues and receives work permit. B. Defines precautions and stand-in for the receiver. C. Defines safety precautions and sign the work permit. D. Supervise the crew and sign the work permit. Answer. C. Defines safety precautions and sign the work permit. Question 26. Rescues from a confined space can only be done by A. The confined space entry supervisor. B. The craft foreman. C. The standby man. D. A trained rescue team. Answer. D. A trained rescue team. Question 27. Which of the following can cause combustible materials to start fire? A. Painting in confined space. B. Using portable heating equipment. C. During drainer pipeline. D. All of the above. Answer. B. Using portable heating equipment. Question 28. Issuer mentions SCBA at Section 2, while receiver noted that he doesn't need. What he will do? A. Always use SCBA. B. Stop the work and inform the issuer about situation. C. Need safety approval. D. Finish job quickly. Answer. B. Stop the work and inform the issuer about situation. Question 29. The standby man must have and ensure all entrants sign the confined space entry for all confined space entry. A. Toolbox talk. B. Entry plan. C. Training plan. D. Entry log. Answer. D. Entry log. Question 30. Why issuer and receiver go for joint site inspection? A. Work can continue until the job is complete. B. The job site was found to be unsafe. C. To communicate the status of the work. D. To identify the hazards and identify the scope of work. Answer. D. To identify the hazards and identify the scope of work. Question 31. Person on the site having special skills is called A. Certified person. B. Receiver. C. Standby man. D. Issuer. Answer. C. Standby man. Question 32. Ignition sources must be eliminated or controlled in a confined space. You must ensure A. Periodic gas tests. B. Fire protection equipment is present. C. Electrical equipment is grounded. D. All the answer. Answer. D. All the answer. Question 34. Which of the following describes a confined space? A. Limited access. B. Limited natural ventilation. C. Not designed for human occupancy and limited working space. D. All the answers. Answer. D. All the answers.
Please give comment and suggestions.
Thank you.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thank for visit our channel. See you next class.
Thank you.